Hey everybody, if I had to start Shopify in 2026, here's exactly what I do. So, can you hear me and see me? Just give me one in the old chat box if you're good to go. I do see a couple people in here, which is wonderful. Thanks for coming on. And then also let me know where you're located. Type your location in the chat box and let's see, and then we will dive right in very quickly. So, we've got a couple, oh man, wow, Singapore. Oh, that's cool. I don't even know what time it is there, but good for you. BC again, right on. Toronto, lovely. What else we got? California, Texas, Tampa, Florida, lovely. Very nice. What else we got? Anybody from Mexico? Nope, nobody today. Okay. We have London. Awesome. London, yeah. And I know which London you're in. Okay. So, yeah, there's still a couple more coming in. Yep, there's another BC, right on. Two of you, cool. Okay, so I am going to dive right in here. So again, thank you very much for coming on. I do have a lot of stuff to show you, as always, right? So the warning is this, it's not your usual session from me. So I had a kind of aha moment, and this whole webinar and everything is the result of it. And the basic thing is a lot of people out there want to be on Shopify, but when it really comes down to it, they're kind of on their own. Like I have a course, but it's from I think 2023 on Shopify, and all the dashboards have changed, and everything's different. So I had a couple of people who are like, "How do I even do this? Like, I want to go on Shopify, but it's like so intimidating to even get on there and try." So they just stop before they even get going, and that's not good. So I figured, you know what? I really haven't done an updated version of Shopify and like how to do it, how to set things up and get it going. And if I had to start a store right now, what I would do, because so much has changed. And even back when I did that course, AI has changed so much that it's added to what we're able to do on Shopify. And some of the changes that we can make to our stores now, we would have had to hire a developer to do it back in the day. And now we can literally go to like ChatGPT and type something in and say, hey, how do I make the title bold here? And it'll give you the exact instructions on how to do it. It's just, it's wild. But even with that, we will always need humans to guide us because um, humans who don't know what they don't know what to ask AI. So that's where I come in. Anyway, that was my moment where I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do an update here. So I guarantee by the end of this, you're going to want to do a cartwheel because this is going to be awesome. So a perfectly set up and run Shopify store will be within reach for you by the end of this. So all it takes is the right setup to turn everything around. And for the Etsy sellers too, I fully understand that it is daunting to look at a Shopify store and go, no thanks, because of all the tech stuff you have to do. My God. So a Shopify store set up correctly fixes everything. So just picture this, like your store looks clean and professional. You stop second guessing all your layout issues. You're not embarrassed to send traffic. And if you do actually send traffic, it converts. Your tracking is correct. Your brand feels real. And you finally feel confident here because you conquered a mountain in getting a Shopify store set up. It's not easy, honestly. Um, your brain is probably craving clarity. It's like, okay, I want to do it. How do I do it? And I don't want to go to YouTube and look at a million videos because that's not fun at all. Plus, they're outdated because dashboards change, which is awful. I don't understand why companies do that, but they do. So you don't want more information overload because that's just going to freeze you and overwhelm you. You just want to know, is my Shopify store set up correctly from day one, or is your existing store set up correctly to convert? Because that's also an issue. I have a lot of people that I've done reviews on their stores and I look at it and they're like, I don't understand why my ads aren't working. And then I'm like, well, let me see. So then first thing I do when I look at ads is I go to their store. And if the store looks like a dog's breakfast, right away I'm like, okay, full stop, fix your store. Like there's no way anybody's gonna, would you buy from this store if you found it off an ad? No way. You would instantly leave because you go like, no trust, no credibility, nothing in here is making me feel comfortable. In fact, it's putting up my walls and saying like red flag, red flag, red flag. So if your existing store isn't converting, um, you got to fix it. So where there's will, there's a way. And by the way, I'm Will. So, all right, dad jokes aside, let's get into the reason you are here, which is Shopify. You've either got a store now existing, or you've thought about it. So you might be tired of failing and watching your stats with 0 sales coming in. So we can get you sales. I'm going to make sure of that. But it starts with the perfect Shopify store setup. So the perfect store definition is this. It's a store that has a lot of features, and I just listed a couple. There's actually a lot more. Has a timely homepage, meaning, what's coming up next? What holiday is coming up next? Have you shifted your homepage to reflect that? If your homepage is static and never changes, that's an issue. That's hurting you. It's also something that you can't run traffic to your homepage if your homepage is not set up for the next upcoming event. And this doesn't matter if you have a niche down t-shirt store or if you have a full-on gift shop. It applies to everything. So it's also a store that has multiple product listing templates for each type, meaning let's say you sold t-shirts and mugs and necklaces and hoodies and canvas prints and whatever else you sell. Each one of those products is for a different person and has different features and different benefits and solves a different problem. So if your product page, if you've never created a new product template on your Shopify store, you should be going, oh crap, I never have and I should, because each one deserves its own product template. In fact, I take it a step further with my gift shop, and I say it's not only by product type, but it's by target market for the gift. So if I'm targeting somebody to buy a gift for someone else, when they land on that page, I want to get in their brain and speak their language and hit every sales objection they might have, not full on, but in a subtle way on the page to make them feel like, oh my God, this site gets me. It understands my needs. It understands my problems. This is an easy conversion for them to do. Whereas if they land on a site and it just doesn't even speak to them at all, that's awful. Okay. And then there's also like the footer part of a site that matters. It builds trust. It has to be clean. If your footer is empty, or if the only thing in the footer of your store is like subscribe to our email list, and then a couple legal pages, that's not going to work. You have to build out a little help center, and it's easier than you think. So you also have to be clean looking. The old like fancy, junky, artsy looking stores, they don't convert as well. The golden rule is keep it simple, stupid, right? The KISS rule, and that applies here big time. The less you have to distract people, the better it's going to convert, and the better it's going to showcase your products. You also have to use the right color palette. So there are different button colors that work better for different markets, and it's amazing, but it's true. It has to this should be number one. It has to look good on mobile. So 70%, 80% of your traffic, especially from ads, is going to come from people looking at your store on a phone. If they go to your store on a phone and the images are screwed up or the header is taken up like the complete full screen when they load it, or links are broken, or the style is wrecked, something's not set right, people will immediately leave. They're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say like, oh well, this person tried, and I'm still going to buy from them even though they can't even set up a store properly on mobile. I'm going to trust them with my credit card information and my money to buy something from them and trust that they're going to ship it. That's not the way it works. So but I mean, ultimately, a perfect store is one that sells your products daily. That's it. So most stores are not perfect. The homepage has no relevance. Product pages are boring. Footers not utilized. Menus don't make sense at all. There's no flow, no consistency, no trust building vibes. They do not convert. They're just set up wrong. And I know a lot of you who are watching this say, well, no, I'm good because I paid for a premium theme for my store, so I'm okay. That's not it. In fact, we don't even need premium themes anymore. The default theme that it comes with is perfect. It needs to be optimized. It's not perfect, but it's a good solid foundation to build a perfect store off of. So if it looks like a kindergarten kid finger painted it, then the store will never work, no matter how good your products are. So get it right, and you're laughing all the way to the bank. Get it wrong, and you'll struggle, waste time, waste money, and probably quit completely. So most Shopify stores fail because they're simply they're not set up correctly. Customers don't trust it, which means they're not going to buy from it, which means you don't make any money. So today that changes. You can have a perfectly set up Shopify store that actually works and puts money in your pocket. So you ready? Cool. Let's dive in. So as usual, I'm going to cover 3 things for you. Number 1 is the reasons people don't launch on Shopify. Number 2 is where most stores are built wrong. And number 3 is if I had to start today, here's exactly what I would do. So who is this for? The following people. It's for people who either don't have a store or have a store. We're going to cover both. It's maybe for Etsy sellers. They thought about Shopify too. So they're selling on Etsy, but they've thought about Shopify. And then they look at it and they go, oh, no, I am terrified of that. Not going to do it. Or Amazon sellers too thought about it, but then said, nope, not going to do it. It's basically anyone who has or has considered opening a Shopify store. So as usual, I'm way too old to deal with negative people, finger pointers, quitters, bad attitudes, or all around unpleasant people. So you are here, so I don't think that's you at all. So if you stay until the end, I do have something for you. Before we begin, I usually do like to introduce myself, but this time I'm just not going to. If you want to know me, just Google my name. I'm an entrepreneur, father of 5 daughters, husband, and been working full-time online for myself since 2007. So I'm a dinosaur, but enough about me. Most of you know me by now, so let's talk about you. Let's pause for a minute and talk about where you are right now. So I don't think you're lazy. Actually, if you're on here, there's no way you're lazy. You would not be watching this if you were. You might be frustrated. You thought things would have clicked by now. One question keeps coming up. Excuse me. Am I close or am I completely off? So busy isn't progress. So doing the same thing over and over and over with the same outcome is the definition of insanity. And I've seen way too many people take that road, and it's not fun. And when you try and shift them away from that, sometimes you get resistance and sometimes you upset people, but sometimes you have to. So you thought about Shopify, but the tech side turns you off immediately and the traffic side. It can be daunting trying to guess how to set things up perfectly. YouTube videos aren't really going to help you due to the sources and the fact that dashboards change so frequently. So you just want a store that's perfectly set up so you can build your own brand, use ads, use free traffic, use email marketing, and possibly exit the whole thing later. We'll get to that in a sec. So when we talk about Shopify, one thing that most people never mention is you can sell your store. And there literally are marketplaces online right now that will list your store and you can sell it. So you could sell it for a big lump sum. It's usually a multiple, 2.5 to 3.5 times the annual net profit, not revenue, profit, because there's a huge difference between the two. So it's true. Example, if a store makes like $50,000 net per year, 2.5 to 3.5 times that, it sells for 125,000 to 175,000. It depends on traffic quality, depends on the systems in place, the product mix, the niche strength, the email list, and everything else, right? But you can't do that with Etsy or Amazon. In fact, on Etsy, you are not allowed to transfer your store. They will close it down right away. So you're stuck. That's your store forever. You're never selling it. Now, people hear that and they go, okay, I wasn't even considering selling. Why would anyone sell a store if it's profitable though? Well, I used to ask that question and I used to think like, there's no way I'm selling my baby if it's making money. But there are actually multiple reasons to sell a store. So some people are better builders and operators. So they love getting it going. They hate keeping it going. Dopamine rush fades. That's actually me in a nutshell. Risk reduction as well. You can either, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, right? Is that what they say? No, yeah. So you can take 3 times the profit now, or you can risk getting that over the years and still doing the work. It's also, for some, it's a portfolio strategy. So instead of like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash flowing e-com brands, stores are what they do. It's also a challenge. So entrepreneurs love this. It's an amazing goal to have. For me personally, when I get a store up and running and profitable, I tend to keep them because I like them, but I do want to do a challenge where I actually get one up and running and profitable for like a year and then I flip it. That would just be fun. And I do know guys that flip stores and they just get a huge influx of cash when they do it, which is awesome. Like imagine you get that big influx and you're like, okay, now I've got a nice little buffer here so I can go do whatever I want. You know, it's a way to do it. You don't have to do it, but it is an option. That is awesome. So if you build it right, it actually becomes a sellable asset, which think of what else is a sellable asset. Like if you own a home, if you're there long enough, it goes up, doubles, triples in value. And then when you sell, you get a huge payout. Well, think of your store as that. You invest in it, you spend time, money, and get it working, and then you've got an asset and it's yours that you can sell. And Shopify will let you transfer ownership, which is very cool. Anyway, the hard truth is this: most sellers never get there, so because they don't build it right. So it's like quick, sloppy, app heavy, some fancy premium theme that they were sold, random branding, no systems, no email list, no profits. So selling it can be your goal, and if you have it the right setup from day one, not even your goal, maybe an option, a nice option. You could have it, you know, I have a goal of flipping it after for like 6 or 7 figures later, or keep it. So you're in the right place. I can show you how to do this. So let's lock it in. Let me build one live from zero to perfectly done, which is why I put together the Shopify Bootcamp 2026. So just more on that later. Let's get into the training today now. So we're going to cover those 3 things, the reasons people don't use it, where most Shopify stores are built wrong, and if I had to start today, here's exactly what I would do. So let's start with number 1. I'm in a very unique position in that I've been doing this for a long time. I've built multiple stores. Some have succeeded, and honestly, some have failed. One of my biggest failures was a yoga t-shirt store. It flopped, and it hurt because I thought this one was going to take off. But you know what I did? I did the classic thing that I know better. I found a guy who was teaching this stuff, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll sign up for that. And then he showed a yoga t-shirt store that he sold for like a million or something, 7-figure sale that he did. So I'm like, okay, well, that guy built that up and sold it. So what am I going to do? Of course, I'm going to take the easy route and be lazy and just go like, yeah, I'll open a yoga t-shirt store too. So I did. And guess what? It failed. And I consider myself really good at this stuff, and it failed. And I was following his advice. I was following his training. I was doing everything. I was missing a couple of key factors. Number 1, my store was not set up the way it should have been. I think that was number 1. Number 2, the niche itself is something I don't care about at all. I don't do yoga. I couldn't do yoga if I tried. And number 3 is because I didn't fully understand the niche and didn't do the research on the niche and didn't set up my store up to reflect the niche, all my designs ended up being the wrong design. So instead of like looking into things and figuring it out ahead of time, which is a huge part of building a store, I just said, oh yeah, let's go do some funny yoga shirts, t-shirts even, not even tank tops, but t-shirts. And you know who wears a funny yoga t-shirt? No one. They don't. They want a nice artsy thing on it. They want floral patterns. They want subtle. They want minimal. They want a tank top. They want something they can do yoga in. They don't want to go to the grocery store and have somebody read a funny yoga saying on it. It just doesn't work anymore. That's not the way it works. So I learned a lot from that. And that is a mistake I made that you don't have to. I've also reviewed a lot of stores of other sellers to help them fix things. And I've made good money over the years with my stores, not that yoga one. That one, oh, thorn in my side. I still feel like going back and reopening it. I actually completely turned off my subscription to Shopify for that one because it ticked me off. I spent a lot of money on ads. I was actually some months I would break even, some months I would slightly lose, which was annoying. I guess if I built that email list up big enough, I could have turned it around, but I had better things to do. So I know what works, and more importantly, I know what doesn't work. So I have a repeatable system now, and it's been created, and I follow it with every new store I launch. So I get sales year round because of my systems. So why don't people use Shopify more? Well, there's a few things stopping them. First, honestly, it feels too technical. So there are things like account creation, domains, DNS, which is you have to point the domain using the back end of like GoDaddy or wherever you are. You have to point that domain to Shopify. A lot of people get tripped up with that. Now, Shopify's made it a little bit easier, but there's also payment processors, signing up for those. Shopify has their own, and of course, they charge a little premium for it. There's figuring out the taxes on it, shipping settings, tracking pixels. There's AI tools. Shopify has a bunch built in now. They're not as good as they advertise them to be. They're cool, but I think we can do better on our own. There's also the themes, the templates, the email, the retargeting. How do I do all that stuff? So the techie side turns off a lot of would-be Shopify store owners. In fact, I think that's the number one reason that people don't use Shopify. Second is getting traffic to your store is a huge issue for people, but that's because it's not built in. So for example, Etsy sellers, they think, oh my God, I'm just going to launch on Etsy. I'll get a ton of traffic automatically. I don't have to do any marketing. And then they sit there and they think that they don't have to generate anything on their own. And then they don't get any sales, or they get very few, or they get sporadic sales and they wonder what's going on. Well, you have no control. And then same with Amazon. Amazon has a ton of traffic. It also has a ton of competition. It also has a ton of pirates and copycats. So they kind of feel the same. They go there for the traffic, but it doesn't always deliver. Even then, when you list on Amazon, say you're doing print on demand on Amazon, if you're doing FBM, fulfillment by merchant, your listing is not really going to show in the search results. And there's this thing called the buy box on Amazon, which you're probably not going to get. In fact, I've attempted multiple times, and there are little tricks and tips you can get to try and get the buy box on your account, but it's really hacky, and I didn't like it. So Amazon does work. It's a whole different beast versus Etsy versus Shopify. So for Shopify sellers, they know for traffic, you have to go out and get it. Free or paid, it's on them. And that terrifies some sellers because they're like, no, I just want to sell my products. I don't want to learn how to market. I don't want to learn Facebook ads. I don't want to learn free traffic. I don't want to do email marketing. I just want to sell. That's all I want to do. And that's fine. The traffic side turns off a lot of would-be Shopify store owners. And third is basically a fear of wasting money. So on a lot of things, right? Shopify does charge a monthly subscription. It's actually pretty small compared to getting your own server and trying to scale with a server. But apps, most charge monthly, and they typically have a free trial. There's themes, free exists, and premium costs money. A lot of people think if I just buy a premium theme, I'm good. Not the case. Ads cost money to run, cost time to learn, and cost frustration along the way. And then domains, they cost money to buy, and every year you got to renew it. They're cheap. I mean, I think buying on GoDaddy are like $14.99 a year or something like that. But the money side turns off a lot of would-be Shopify store owners too. So the core truth, most don't avoid it because it doesn't work. They avoid it because they don't trust themselves to set it up correctly. They don't trust that traffic is not as hard as they think. They don't want to feel stupid. They don't want another failed attempt at something. So it's not as hard as some people might think. I'll tell you that. It is a missing piece of the puzzle for online success. When you do it right, you get a massive head start. You start thinking like a real business owner. So a real business owner is someone that, the tech side exists. They don't mind it. They know they can always get help to learn it. They prefer the traffic side because now they can control how fast or slow they go. This is a huge advantage versus sitting and waiting for an algorithm. And they did the math. So places like Etsy can actually be more expensive to sell on versus Shopify. I literally have 2 videos on my YouTube channel about this very topic. And Etsy sellers hate those videos because it smacks them in the face with reality of, holy crap, those listing and relisting fees, they seem innocent. They're not at all. They're crazy. Plus the fees on fees on fees, ouch. And I mean, I don't even want to get into, like, as soon as you sell on Etsy with a new store, you're going into payment reserve for 90 days, pretty much automatically, which means they keep your money for 3 months. And the reason they don't give you one. They just say, yeah, we're keeping it. We're going to hold it. It's awful. Shopify doesn't do that. The key is you can take full control, or you can sit back and let an algorithm determine your success. So the harsh reality is you're not going to get the results by sitting back. At some point, you're going to want to take the bull by the horns. So the question is, do I want a store where I have zero control, or do I want control? So I know what my preference is, full control. So that moving faster or slower is up to me. So let's move on to the second part now, which is where most Shopify stores are built wrong. So launching a store is actually not that hard on the surface. I mean, you create an account, you're launched, right? But launching incorrectly is, and that stops today after watching this. So where do sellers mess up the most when they launch? Well, number one is they obsess over design. It's like theme choice, colors, fonts, logos, all that stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as much as who's your target market, what problem are you solving, and is that niche good enough to even be in? Pretty doesn't convert. Clear target markets, clear problem solved, and a profitable niche does. So number two is app addiction. There's a full app store, and actually I have an app in the app store right now, which took like forever to get approved, but that's just because they're slow. Anyway, app addiction means you've got like, okay, well, I need an upsell app, a bundle app, a pop-up app, reviews app, um, countdown app, AI copy app, speed optimizer app, and all the other million apps that are in there. The marketplace for apps is a whole business model in itself, and there's just too many. And so when you install too many, that results in a slow store with bloated code, conflicting scripts, and possible downtime. Now, Shopify is pretty good on vetting who they'll let into the App Store, but even with that, an app could hurt your store or hurt conversions definitely. So they're not needed. I'm not like some of them are needed, but not all of them. And my stores run on a bare bones app installation because my products do the selling, not some fancy trick apps. So that's important. Number three, and this should probably be number one, is boring pages. So people read your descriptions, your homepage, your product pages, your collection pages, your help pages about us, and they fall asleep. So don't do that. Don't put people to sleep. Add some personality to your brand. Be creative and speak to your target market in their language. And if you don't know what the language is, figure it out. So that wakes them up. And your store goes from forgot about in 10 seconds to them showing their friends and family where they bought the cool thing you sold them because it resonated with them and their language and their feelings and their everything. You just connected with your target market perfectly. Number four is no clear navigation. This is huge too. Usually people have like home, shop, about, contact. That's cool, but what about the other collections by like product type and by occasion? That is very important. So if somebody lands on your store and they're confused, they will not convert. So you got to fix that. Number five is weak trust signals. So there's like no clear policies, no real photos, no shipping clarity, no refund clarity, no social proof, and no trust badges. And that hurts big time. It means no sales. So if a stranger lands on your store and instantly gets a, yeah, this is a scam vibe, you're in trouble. In trouble as in they're not going to buy. They're not going to whip out their credit card and pay for something if the store isn't set up right. So number six is tracking doesn't exist. If you run ads, but you don't track your results, you're flying blind and you'll never be able to properly run ads. That's supposed to be a cookie, by the way. Number seven is they build for them. So the look and feel of the store is what they like, not what their buyers like. This is the mistake that I made with my yoga t-shirt store. I put my personal preferences on there and said, well, if it's a t-shirt, it's got to be funny. So I'm going to kind of make the site like my style, which is sarcasm and trying to be humorous and all that stuff, whether it hits or dad jokes and all that crap. But that didn't match up at all with the market because I didn't do my research good enough. So all I did was try to take a shortcut and it didn't work. So your personal preferences do not matter. It's what your target market likes that does. Build for it, not you. The same applies to ads, by the way. I see a lot of people writing ads as if they're selling to themselves, and that is not the right way to do it at all. So that matters. The foundation matters. So it cannot be cracked from day one. If it is cracked, it can be fixed, but the perfect store is the ultimate goal. So it is possible if you follow a proven system to build it. So like I said, my first store was not that yoga store. It was, oh, I'm trying to think back now. It was probably 2014, man, 12 years ago. I actually can't even remember the name of it or why I stopped it. I'll have to research that. But yeah, I think about 2014 was my first store, and that was a hot mess. I had the drive, but I lacked the experience. My store had a lot of issues. So sales were few and far between, kind of like a roller coaster of emotions. Then something happened. So I kind of had an aha moment. Not back in 2014. I wish I did, but it was more like recently, I'll say. So that was just, I stopped building for me. I think it was after that yoga store. I said, you know what? I'm going to start building for my target market, and I'm going to really learn who they are. So even if I'm not 100% passionate about that target market, I can still do it because I research them and I found out what makes them tick. And I started to speak to them in their language. And if your store is, say, a gift store and it's generic and your target market for each holiday is everyone, it's not going to work. And you don't have to be Walmart. You don't have to be Amazon. You need to actually go down a level and pick a target market that you're going to create your products for and go after them. One recent good example for us is in the membership. The past month, we've been doing training on like St. Patrick's Day T-shirts, and that target market is actually, well, the market for that is huge. But I actually dove down to a sub market of like younger people who are buying a shirt to wear it out to the bar. That is way different than like a St. Patrick's Day T-shirt for anyone. And because I knew my target market, I could figure out how to speak to them, and I could make sure my designs worked for them. And then everything on my site now matches up for that target market so that when my ads are written, which are also speaking to them, there's a connection at every level. If you don't have that flow, and if you didn't do that research, and if you didn't pick a target market, it's going to flop. And so on a gift store, you got a lot of gifts, but each time you go through a holiday, you pick a target market, and that's who you go after for that gift. And then you shift your store to suit, and then you shift your ads to suit. So that's how it works. Research matters. And now with AI, researching markets and personas and all that good stuff is so much easier than it used to be. We used to have to guess. So it worked, and sales started becoming way more consistent after that yoga store fail. I felt like a ninja with my newfound ability to actually get sales. So AI can help. Research is now easier than ever. It's easier than ever to figure out who your target market is using AI. What are the top pain points for blank? What are 5 personas of possible buyers for my products, right? What slang do they use that only they understand? Do they have any inside joke or any inside jokes they use? What specifically would make my target market buy from me? You ask AI those questions and you will have the perfect picture of who you're going to sell to. And when AI has the perfect picture of who you're going to sell to, it can now help you make sure that your store resonates with them and that your ads and your images on your ads and images on your store resonate with them too. So when there's a perfect flow from the entry point all the way through the funnel, it just works so much better. So instead of trying to force your beliefs or your style or your whatever on a market you don't understand, you actually dig deep and AI helps. So you win when you know your market well. You can build for them and speak to them on your pages in their language. That connection equals money and can separate you from your competition who is still launching boring stores. Okay, a lot of people are. Sound good so far? Are you wondering what's next? Well, let's move on to the third thing, which is vital. And this is it. So if I had to start today, even if I had a store, here's exactly what I would do. So buckle up because it's about to get pretty interesting for you. So first is a reality check. It's not a simple thing that we're talking about. We already mentioned that, but there are a lot of moving parts and it can be complicated to figure out. So you do need a couple things. The requirements are this: you need a solid niche you can solve a problem in, a defined target market to research, a solid domain that fits, clean styles, solid palette your market likes, simple logo, high converting homepage, easy navigation, trust building footer, multiple product listing templates, each optimized for conversions depending on what type of store you have. Matching buttons throughout is key. Tracking installed, suppliers connected, free traffic hooked up to the blog. It looks good on a phone. There's probably a couple I missed, but that's a good list. So how do you do that? Well, you've got your two basic options, the easy way and the hard way. And the hard way is go for it on your own. So go to YouTube, go to groups, go to school, communities, get all different opinions, styles, methods, shifty people, tons of ways, then go and try and figure each one out on your own. and you've got something, not never the solution, but it's something we like to call information overload. So you have so many options that you do not know what to do or where to start, and that leads to overthinking and overanalyzing. So you do nothing and you go back to square one, and that route stinks. I don't suggest it for anyone. Instead, take the easy route. So let me teach you. Let me show you how to actually do this. Watch me build it. Built. Good spell check. Right over my shoulder from start to finish. So using my system that came from years and years of testing and tweaking. You making money with your own perfectly set up Shopify store is the goal. I have lots of stores, and I've closed lots of stores too, and have a system down pat. So you can skip the mistakes. I already made them. I already learned from them. You don't have to. You can learn from an expert who eats, sleeps, breathes this stuff. You're going to have a blueprint to follow to launch or fix your Shopify store. I'm going to remove the guesswork, so there'll be zero doubt that your store is correct. Your store is a foundation. Everything after it depends on it being right. So let me show you how to build the perfect Shopify store, which brings me to my offer to you. And you're going to like this because this is a little bit different than what I usually do. So at the beginning, I mentioned the Shopify Bootcamp 2026. That is the offer, but let me get to the rest first before you click off here. So it's all about teaching you exactly how to launch or fix your Shopify store. No more excuses. If you've been thinking of Shopify or you're already on it, this is for you. So you watch me build it. Oh, I got it right. From zero to fully functional Shopify store. 3 live training sessions, focus, clear, no fluff, over my shoulder, replays included. Every step is shown using my proven system. This changes everything because once your foundation is solid, sales get easier. So the bootcamp is all about learning how to set up the perfect store, using my system based on my learned from mistakes, based on my experience, allowing you to have a profitable store. Nothing is left to chance. So what is it? Full training support and some sweet bonuses all packaged up to give you the perfect Shopify store. I'm going to get to those in a second. Sound good? Of course, I think so, but I'm biased. So what you get is this. The 3 live trainings are over my shoulder. Watch me in the dashboards, creating a new store live from zero to done. You're going to see every single step, giving you the blueprint, getting you making sales. It's full step-by-step, in detail, no fluff. Okay, that's just the training. I got a couple bonuses too. Bonus number 1 is ongoing support. So you don't have to go at it alone. No need to fly solo. If you've ever tried to talk to someone about your business, you get that look. I love it. That's what my wife does every time I start talking about my business. What's the solution? A group of people who speak your language. So that's what bonus number 1 is, a dedicated members only group for support and coaching along the way. And it is on Facebook, available 24/7, support network, people who are in your shoes, people who will help you out, led by me. Post a question, I'll answer you. It is as valuable as the training itself. So you get training and support. Does that sound pretty good? I think so. But that's not all. So now is the part where you're going to go, holy cow. So bonus number 2, we're starting off easy with a Shopify 2026 setup checklist. It's a full checklist. It's going to cover everything that we did inside the training. So this bonus comes at the end, and we'll summarize and put in checklist form on a Google Doc where you can actually click off everything. So check, 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 cross out that line, and then you move on to the next step. It's very helpful, especially for people who love, ABCD steps. This is it. So it covers everything: domain, settings, policies, payments, shipping, tracking, AI usage, navigation, footer, menus, collections, everything. Everything's in there. Why it's awesome? Because it's the steps you'll be taking. So you just check off each one as you go. It's got a 297 value. So now we're at the training, the group for support, and then the checklist. So we're at about $4,291. If you want more, fine. I'm actually going to build it live, right in front of you. So wouldn't it be cool if at the end, there's this fully optimized theme created, and I'm going to export it and give it to you. So yeah, I'm going to give you the exact theme that we build in the bootcamp. This is perfect. Now, it's going to be based on Dawn theme. I'm going to zip it up. You're going to install it in yours, and then you've got something ready to use right away. So it includes that theme created right in front of you throughout the full bootcamp. I zip it up. It's perfect. You upload it to your store. You edit instead of starting from scratch, and then you're instantly going to be perfectly set up. Now, it will fit with your products. It will fit with everything else. You might have to modify collections a little bit, but it's always easier to start with something instead of a blank page. And this is it. So you can edit that in your own Shopify dashboard. It's yours to keep. There's no ongoing charges and no yearly charges. It's just, I built a store. That store has a theme. It's based on a Dawn theme. You have the Dawn theme for free on your store. You take mine, you upload it, boom, you're done. That's it. So now you watch me build it. You saw what I did. You watched me talk through every single section. You got a checklist. You got the theme. What else could I do? Well, we're up to this. We got the training, support, checklist, and theme. Now we're at $4,788, but you got a lot, right? I should probably stop there. But how do we make sure that your store is set up correctly when you're done? So even though you have all that, you might still have questions, you might have doubts. So you don't know. So I will personally review your store to make sure. So bonus number 4 is a personal store review. You send me the link. I'll do a video review of your store. Covers everything, verifying it's set up as it should be. I will look for any mistakes. I'll create a video review, good, bad, and suggestions for improvement. If there aren't any suggestions, I'm just going to pat you on the back and tell you good job, you're awesome. Why this is awesome? Because you'll be 100% confident that your store is set up right. This is kind of the finishing touch. Well, it's actually not the finishing touch. It's almost the finishing touch that just comes full circle for you. So now you've got training, you've got support, you've got a checklist, you got a theme, you got a review, around $5,285 in value. Is that enough? Well, no. Now, let's add more to really, really make this a no-brainer. So if you want free traffic to your store, it's amazing. So I love it. In fact, I like it so much that I coded a full SaaS, software as a service, dedicated to getting free traffic. So it's called Free Traffic Blogger, right? And you guys have probably heard of it, but it'll get you free traffic from Google, search engines, ChatGPT on autopilot, and it will post right to your Shopify blog. If you want to see it, let's go have a quick look here. Actually, should have probably loaded this. Just give me a second. Make sure I'm on the right one. Oh, I forgot. There it is. Okay. Pull this one over here. So if you haven't seen it, this is it. And you can go here, freetrafficblogger.com/Shopify. There's also a couple other versions in there, but we're going to turn your blog into a free traffic and sales engine without writing anything. So we write, optimize, and publish blog posts directly to your Shopify blog, then automatically promote your products inside every post, turning free traffic into sales. There's a nice little video. Set and forget, buyer intent, and built for sales. So there's the problems, there's everything there. We give you all that, blah, blah, blah. What to expect. Week 1, you start week 2 to 4. Indexing will probably start months 2 to 3. Compounding traffic begins. The engine effect shows up. More posts, more pages, more entry points, more sales. So now we got plans. We got the standard, the pro, and the power. The power is my biggest plan because you get like 3,000 word articles, 7 posts daily, featured image, and an inline image, which is really nice. That is what you're going to get as a nice little bonus here. So going back here, I'm going to give you 3 months on the power plan. Okay, so that means it's $99 per month, and you get 3,000 word blog posts, daily posting, featured image, one inline image, everything you see on that page you get. It gets you free traffic to your products, and it's awesome because you've got your store, and a lot of people are like, I don't really want to run ads. Okay, well, you know what? Start with this. Let's get free traffic going from day 1, because it does take a little bit of time to get going, get indexed, and actually see some clicks coming in. Once it does, after like probably about the 3-month mark, it gets real nice. Okay, and then ads become your fuel to the fire. So you can set up a Shopify store with Free Traffic Blogger, let it test all your products for free. When you have winners showing up, then you only create ad campaigns for the winners. Kind of neat, right? So you can get traffic from Google and ChatGPT. And in fact, going forward, I think the future is people are not going to go to Google. They're going to go to like AI and they're going to ask questions, and AI is going to make recommendations. And even right now, inside of AI, when you ask for like where can I buy a funny St. Patrick's Day t-shirt? It will tell you, and it will recommend places. So you want your store to be in there, recommended by them, so that when people are asking questions in there, you are the result. And that is what this does. So I've really, I spent a lot of time coding that, and it works really well, and I'm constantly improving it too. So whew, you get a lot. The training, support, checklist, theme, review, software, all for like total value, $5,584.97. These all tie in perfectly together to give you like the ultimate package. So how's that sound? Training, support, bunch of bonuses. You get it all, ton of value. I should charge that for it, but I'm not going to. So I had two options. First is sell it for cheap, getting more going, or option two is charge more and limit it to fewer people. So I went with option one because why not? I want to help as many people as possible. It is a good deal at $5,500, but I priced at $997. And hang on, since I feel generous, I'm offering it for 70% off. So $299.10. That's it. That's 70% off $997. Well, there's your URL down on the bottom right, printondemandcoach.com/SB will get you to the order form. Free traffic blogger power plan is worth the same by itself as a whole bootcamp. And you're getting a theme, and you're getting a checklist, and you're getting a personal review, you're getting training, you're getting support. So I think it's a no-brainer. It is limited time. The link is going to be at the bottom of the screen while we finish this off, but you're getting everything you need to have a perfect Shopify store set up. So no more excuses. What's guaranteed? Simple. If you get this, you're going to have a perfectly set up store. No more guessing, no more struggling with one of the hardest parts, just training, support, and a checklist, the theme, the review, free traffic, firing up right away. I guarantee you'll have you will save yourself time, money, and stress. You will not have stress by getting this. So what I'm saying is, if you know Shopify is the right path, it is, you may as well get it set up perfectly from day one. So if all it did was teach you exactly how to set up the store that converts, give you support along the way, give you a full checklist to follow, give you the exact theme to install, give you a personal review at the end, get your free traffic started right away, would that be worth it? Well, yeah, what else is there? I mean, there's the ad side, but that's a whole other bootcamp, honestly. The answer is yes, this is the bootcamp you've needed for a long time. So if you want a perfect setup, perfect Shopify store, you have two basic options. Option number one is, this should be option number two, but go to YouTube, do it alone. Go to Facebook groups, go to school communities, get all the, tons of conflicting info, confused, overloaded, overthink it, second guess yourself, waste time, waste energy, and struggle, or get it. So get training, support, checklist, theme, review, software. Start making money finally. Now, which option do you prefer? I believe it's a complete no-brainer. Is that a lot of money? No, not at all. The software alone is worth more. So what are you really buying? You're buying time, clarity, and stress removal. So I made the mistakes. You get to skip them. I'm giving you a ton of value with the goal of you having a store set up perfectly. So you can attempt everything we just talked about on your own. When I first started, I tried to go at it all alone. And then I learned something. It is far better to pay someone who is where I want to be versus trying to reinvent the wheel alone. So I still buy from other experts because I'm forever a student and I do not know everything. So when you buy time and help, you get there faster without stress and frustration. You also increase the odds of getting to success and profits faster. So who am I to teach you? I'm an experienced expert who's already successful with this. So if you have any questions, email me, contact@printondemandcoach.com. So what's the difference between now and later? Now you might be struggling, later you won't be anymore. This is a limited time offer. It's not going to be available forever. Don't wait on it. You might miss the bus. So now some common questions that I get all the time, then we will close this off. So what if I'm brand new to Shopify? This is exactly who would benefit the most. You will skip the setup phase. Not skip it. I mean, you still have to set it up, but it's going to be a lot more pleasant for you. So you're going to have a store that's perfect from day one without any doubt. It's a huge advantage. So what if I already have a store? Cool. You can still install the theme you're getting. All your products will work with it. If your store is fine, don't touch it. If your store is not converting, this is your fix. So it's that simple. So when are they? Tuesdays at 11, starting February 24th, 3 of them. Now, what if I can't make a session? No problem. Replays will be posted, available to spell check. View anytime. I need a read check, not a spell check. When can I start? Right now. You get instant access to the group. First live training is Tuesday. The bonuses come at the end because they can't really be up front. So I can't really give you the checklist before we have the checklist. I can't really give you the theme before we have it, and I can't really review before we have it. I definitely can't hook you up to the free traffic blogger before you have everything set up. So how long is the offer open? It closes Monday at midnight. First live training is Tuesday at 11. The door's closed. Don't wait on it. So what if I have more questions? Like I said, email me or post them in the chat or the comments. Did you join yet? Awesome seeing the group in a minute. If you're still on the fence, here's a couple testimonials that I love and I always use. So Mandy, known Will for a few years, have a couple of his courses. You'll always learn something from him, whether you're at the beginning, intermediate, or advanced stage of your business. He teaches what's working for him now, and he teaches in a simple and easy and understand way. I was able to implement one of his courses within the first lesson, made my investment back. Oliver, I don't usually make public posts on Facebook, but feel I need to tonight. Well, you could be spending your time making money for yourself instead of creating such great and insightful content. I truly believe you genuinely care and want to help people. You got me started with print on demand back in February, and I'm already seeing great success. I've hit several bumps along the way, but just believe in yourself that you can do this and you will. Take care. And then Chris, I've been following Will for nearly 3 years now. To this day, I still think he's the best in the business when it comes to coaching print on demand and Facebook ads. Purchased a couple of his courses in the past, and they've been great. Everything he teaches has been battle tested and proven, so you can trust the strategies that he shares. Definitely follow this guy, you won't regret it. So now, what happens after you order? You, like I said, you get instant access to the group, which will have a welcome post explaining the next steps, like how to register for the live training sessions. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Can't wait for you to have the perfect Shopify store. If you skip it, I'm going to call you crazy, but we can part as friends. Don't wait on it. Life is short. Take advantage of every opportunity you can while you still can. I just heard freaking Dawson's Creek guy passed away from cancer. I was like, what the heck? That's nuts. He was like 47. I'm like, I'm 50. Ugh, not good. It just, the more you see people like passing away, the more you realize, yeah, we don't really have all that much time on this big ball of dirt. So take advantage of things while you can, do what you can while you're here and enjoy it. So anyway, one last thing, and this is not part of the boot camp. The boot camp is like do it yourself, right? You watch me and then you do it yourself, and yeah, I'll help you and I'll give you a whole bunch of bonuses, and then I'll actually review things. I'll get you started with free traffic, but some want it done for them, meaning I build it, transfer it over to you. That's fine. So I do have a VIP option, and what you get with this is I'll build your store for you. I have the partner dashboard on Shopify because I'm a partner with them, so I can build stores inside there, which you're going to see inside the bootcamp because that's where I'm building the store that you're going to see. But I can build one for you too. And the cool part is Shopify lets us transfer ownership from me to you completely. So you will still have to connect like payments, suppliers, and apps, because of course it has to go through your account for that. Sorry about that. And then I will guide you on those two. Okay, so you get an expert setting things up for you, meaning, hey, for example, I'm on Etsy. I've been thinking of moving to Shopify. I don't want to do all that stuff. Can you do it for me? Yep, there you go. This is the option, the VIP option. So the other option is still good, and you will still get the same result. It's just you're going to do it yourself. So some people want it done for them. So what does it cost? Well, it's a little more than the regular bootcamp. It's $9.97. Okay. So if you're interested, email me about the VIP. Contact at printondemandcoach.com. It does not include the bootcamp. Okay. It's an add-on to the bootcamp. So you can take the bootcamp and the VIP, or you could just get the bootcamp, or you could just get the VIP. Okay, they're not combined at all. They're totally separate things. Buy two things, buy one thing, it's up to you. Okay. The VIP add-on, like I said, it's in addition to the bootcamp cost, just so we're clear. Now, I'm offering it as like bootcamp plus, but you could get one or the other or both. It's up to you. Now, go to the link below and join the bootcamp. And now, just to summarize, why the heck would anyone get this? So after everything you just saw, this is it. So you don't waste 3 months building it all wrong. and end up quitting before you even get off the ground. That's why. And the real thing is clarity. This gives you clarity. This gives you confidence. This gives you the feeling that, okay, this entry point into the world of Shopify was always something I never wanted to tackle because of all the reasons that we went through, and they're legitimate reasons. If we can remove those reasons from you, from your brain, and get you feeling more confident in what you're doing, and knowing that you have a guy who has your back and who has built multiple stores and has a really good system now that he will hand over to you, that gives you confidence in even like shifting off of other platforms over to Shopify. Or if you're already on Shopify, it gives you confidence in knowing that my store set up right. So if anything is a problem down the road, it's not the store. Now I got to work on my products. Now I got to work on my target markets. Now I got to work on my, maybe I'm going to start learning ads or mastering ads. I'm going to have that free traffic pumping in all the time. And by the way, the free traffic blogger too, it is not an auto blogger, because auto bloggers, their sole goal is to get traffic to your site. I'm a marketer, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to get traffic, yes, and it will do that, but mine is different because I want to convert that traffic to sales. So all my competition, and believe me, I researched them all, they don't even mention monetizing the traffic because they don't know how. They're coders. They're not guys like me. So I happen to be now a coder, and I happen to be a print on demand seller, and I happen to be a coach. So I'm a weird guy in that I wear a lot of hats. But Free Traffic Blogger was designed with the purpose of getting traffic and converting traffic to sales. So within it, you can enter your products, you can use a banner, you can use a text block, and it's actually on your Shopify store. I like to put a collection of my best sellers right at the bottom of every blog post. So people read the post, they type something into Google, whatever it may be, they click the post, go to my blog, read it, and then they see a banner. And the banner says, whatever, some product offer. They can click it, it will go right to the product right on the store. They keep scrolling through, they might see a link to funny pickleball t-shirt. And then they click it and it goes to the same store that they're on with my listing for my best-selling funny pickleball t-shirt that I told Free Traffic Blogger to put there. And then they keep scrolling, they get to the bottom, and it says, hey, want to see some best-selling pickleball t-shirts? Clearly you're into pickleball. Click the button, boom, best-selling collection loads up. On top of that, I got a collection right at the bottom that already has my best sellers on there. So that is monetizing, and that is something the competition doesn't do. Anyway, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'll see you inside the bootcamp. This is, like I said, it's a little bit different than all the other ones because I spent more time trying to figure out the bonuses and what would make sense to really move you along each step of the way, and not only move you along, but give you confidence that your end result is correctly set up. So I love this. I can't wait to do it. It's going to be fun, very fun. I enjoy doing these live because you see the most up-to-date possible dashboards. You see me hit issues and how I deal with them. And then you realize that, oh man, when I buy a course, that course is polished. Like the person who shot the course probably messed up a take like 5 times before they actually, before the end result, which is what you saw. So when you go through a course, you see this person doing everything perfectly the first time through. And it's like, yeah, that's not how it works. Not at all. I like to do it live because I still hit little speed bumps where I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be here. It's not here. Where'd it go? And you watch me work through how to solve it. And then I fix it and then boom, it's done. But I want you to see that raw. I don't want you to see it polished because then you now feel better because you're like, okay, well, if Will hit that bump and solved it, I'm going to hit bumps and I'm going to solve them too. So anyway, I'm going to end with that. Yeah, so there are one couple questions here, and then we'll end it. We're done. Okay, question on Free Traffic Blogger. Could I just get the standard plan? Well, yeah, you can. The standard plan is like $29.99 a month. You get, I think it's 1,500 word blog posts I put in there. There's no images though with a standard plan, because honestly, images cost me a lot of money. I am connected to OpenAI via API, and I'm absorbing all those costs for the users. So every post that's written, there's a chunk that comes out of my pocket to get that written for you. But all the code that actually posted to your store was written by me. So anyway, the blog posts themselves are using the best SEO strategies that are possible, like the most cutting edge ones. I'm not going back like a couple of years ago and using those. And I had to use stuff like AIO, which is AI optimized, and then AEO and GO, and all these weird acronyms that don't matter to people who aren't nerds like me, but they're all implemented into every blog post too, to make sure that Google loves it, AI programs love it, and not just ChatGPT, but other ones too. All right, you didn't mention ads. Can I still run ads? Well, yeah, I didn't mention ads because, like I said, that is a full-blown, full boot camp that would be dedicated to ads. To add this in here would be difficult. I do have old boot camps with ads in them too, but again, the dashboards have changed. Some of the strategies have changed a little bit. So maybe the next one is like a Facebook ads boot camp for people, because so much has changed, and how I run ads is in constant change, a constant state of improvement, put it that way. Okay, let's see. Okay, when you say one product template and multiple angles, do you mean the product displayed multiple times on the shop front with different descriptions, or sending through different ad angles to the same product page? Okay, so yeah, what I mean is, say, we'll use St. Patrick's Day as an example. So I'm selling a St. Patrick's Day t-shirt. What I want to do with that project, or that promotion, is I want to make sure that I figure out a target market for the St. Patrick's Day t-shirt, and there's multiple. So what I picked, as you know, is the younger crowd who's going to a bar and they want to wear a shirt. So now that I know that, now I have to research personas for that group. And it's like, what problem am I solving for them with this St. Patrick's Day t-shirt? And you might be thinking, what are you talking about? It's an impulse buy. There's no problem. Aha, there is. The problem is, it's not really a problem, but in their head, they're thinking, I want to make sure I have something that breaks the ice. I want to make sure that when pictures are taken, this stands out. I want to be in the bar and have someone approach me and go, oh my God, that's so funny. Where'd you get that? Like, I want to chat with people. I want people to be impressed by what I'm wearing. I want to wear a better shirt than my friends. So there's all these different angles that you come up with for it. And then you make sure that on your product listing page, when they click through from the ad, which does say all that stuff, to the product listing page, it also says the same thing on the same line. So it's not like, okay, so the ad says, make sure you have a better shirt than your friend. And then they click it and it goes to generic, same product listing page for every t-shirt you have, for every holiday, for every niche, for everything, without mentioning anything about what's going on through their head or possibly going on in their head, right? That's what I mean. So it's not automatically swapping out descriptions or split testing. It's knowing from the get-go, having a plan of attack so that that particular product sells well, versus a lot of people who just say, I'm like, well, who's your target market for this? Well, everyone. What product are you selling with this? I don't know. Those two answers are the reason that ads don't work for people right there. So I got into that quite a bit in the membership, but yeah, and AI can research it. And then, oh, there's one. I'm worried about ad costs. Of course, you can start small, start with $5 a day. And the way that I just showed inside there too was the blind method. So you're flying blind, because I have literally, and I keep going back to St. Patrick's Day t-shirts, but I have all these t-shirts. I don't know which one's going to sell. So what I did is, because I know my target market, I set up my homepage to reflect everything for that target market. And then I sent my ads blindly to that homepage. And I'm going to let the blind clickers tell me which one is best out of all the shirts that I have for them. So once I know that, and I'm just running a little $5 a day campaign to figure that out. Once I get sales, then I can create campaigns dedicated to the one that got the sale, which means I did things efficiently and I didn't waste money trying to individually test every single t-shirt that I have on the store. And that's where things like catalog ads can just drain your budget immediately. So the other thing is this, with things like free traffic, there is no ad cost. So that is a wonderful thing. So we can use free traffic to figure out the winners. We could only run ads on the winners based on what free traffic told us. That's a very nice route too. Now that route takes a little bit of patience and time because getting index and starting to get traffic does take time, but it does work. All right. So yeah, ad cost is the thing, but just cap it. Just say, you know what, here's what I'm willing to spend per day, and that's it. And don't go over it. And once you start making sales and getting confidence and feeling better about ads, then yeah, you can spend a little bit more. But start small and build it up. All right, I'm gonna close with that. I'd love to see you in there. If you're not in there, if you have any questions, if you're on the fence, send me an email, contact@printOnDemandCoach.com. Be happy to answer you. And I'll get the replay up and running. Everyone have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you soon.